Greetings from me and my quarantine curly hair. Hope everybody's doing well. On tap today, I have a guest. And let me tell you about this guest. She's a real bruiser. She used to herd sheep. She probably eats her steak raw. I wouldn't be surprised if she's killed a man. She's given birth 3 times and puts up with more shit than a toilet seat. Ladies and gentlemen, she is none other than my mom. And we get her on the podcast and just talk to her about mom type things, some advice for future moms, and just what she put up with raising 3 little shits. It's some pretty compelling content. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen of Instagram and iTunes and YouTube, I introduce to you Debbie f***ing Geerts. Or anything like that to keep it nice and spontaneous. This is a conversation, and it's just good fun, Mother. So. Okay. Hello, Mother. How are you doing today?
Hi, Aaron. Good. Thank you.
Yes, you're here in the lunchbox.
Indeed.
On your property. It's what was it? Mother's Day not too long ago. How was your Mother's Day?
Great.
How great?
Really great. Really great. Yeah.
Sounds like an 11 out of 10.
Wow.
On the scale.
Yes.
Thank you. I realized, I always knew that I was your favorite, but I know for a fact that I'm your favorite because I didn't see you on Keith or Skylar's podcast. You're on my podcast.
That's true.
So...
You are my favorite 29-year-old.
Let's go. Shout any other 29-year-olds out there. You suck. But you're allowed to cuss on this because I bleep it all out. So
but I don't cuss anyway, usually. So.
There's
only if provoked.
Jesus censors you?
Yeah, well,
Do you feel guilty when you say the F word? Or
not if it's warranted.
When is it warranted?
The F word?
Yeah.
Rarely. And when I let it go, I probably shouldn't.
Do you feel better, though, after saying it? Supposedly it's supposed to make you feel a little better, release a little endorphins when you
Well, I've heard that. Then other people say people that have to cuss have a limited vocabulary.
So they want people to think you're smart or something.
I don't care if people think I'm smart. I don't. Right?
Well, if you're saying F this, F that, F the world, you do kind of sound like a dummy, for sure.
No, I'm not saying that.
There's a
I'm
happy
saying
medium.
That's just some people's language. And I just don't need to talk like that, and I do sometimes, but hey.
You gotta let loose, it's the freedom of speech. You should be able to drop an F-bomb if you want and just lay waste to everybody who hears it.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't.
The main subject of this podcast will be mothering, which you are an expert for. You've been a mother longer than a non-mother. Is that about right?
That is true. I started being a mother at 24.
24?
Wow.
Yes.
Some people don't even know how to tie their shoes at 24 these days.
Well.
But you popped out a kid.
Well, I had a child. I wouldn't say that, there's a difference between having kids and being a mom.
Really? What would you say that difference is? Oh, just not being ready for it? Well, there's 16-year-olds, 13-year-olds.
Right. That's why I'm saying that.
You have kids, but to be a mom, what does that mean to you? If I just ask this broad, overarching question.
I'm your huckleberry.
Just being the caretaker of others and trying to just do the best you can. There's no, when you go to the hospital, you never come out with a operator's manual for each of these kids.
No,
it's just
figuring out.
Kind of winging it, which sounds a little scary, probably for you.
Well, the one thing I learned from doing this podcast or writing the book, it's like, yes, it's completely different leagues than raising kids, but you're kind of learning as you go. And I'm assuming, thinking back to how grandma raised you or how grandma Pat
you
raised
definitely,
pops,
I think, for sure.
Just for reference.
I think a lot of things that how you are raised, you kind of probably, those are your guidelines. Mm-hmm. And then all personalities, all kids are different, but yeah, definitely you kind of revert back to how you were raised.
How did grandma, if we may circle back to potty language, how did grandma deal with foul mouths?
We didn't foul mouth around grandma.
What about grandpa?
And I'll tell you, Grandpa Jack is rarely cussed in front of any of us girls.
Really?
And we used to, if sometimes when he was still trucking or gone or whatever, we'd have to help a trucker unload a truck or load a truck with sheep or stuff. And he would always tell you, if they start cussing, you come in the house and you let them figure it out themselves. You do not help. Because he knew we knew how to do it. And we were there to help them. And if somebody was going to cuss in front of us, he told us to go in the house. If we were out working and somebody started cussing, he would send us into the house. That was his thing. Now, he probably cussed in front of you guys. I know Dad said he, did in front of him, but he did not in front of us.
Were curse words like the devil penetrating your ears and seeping into your soul?
No, he just never did. No, he just never did. It just was his, with all those girls, I guess. He just thought that was not the proper way that a man should behave in front of a female. And Grandma rarely even now. How much have you ever heard Grandma say, she'll say shit. Yeah, I know. But
wow.
Yeah.
Why is pissed off like her? I've told like
her red word.
Whatever. Why is pissed off the red word? Yeah.
I guess the same reason caca is my red word.
Caca?
I hate that word.
It's a dumb word. But
it's a dumb word, but it is. Don't you have a word that it's just like makes you just think, just don't say that word again?
Oh my God! I'm trying to think of that word. Oh man. Society, I guess. Corona, just the news.
Yeah, COVID.
Let me go with my trigger words.
Yeah,
that I disliked.
So I don't know. And so if we said PO or pissed off, we get in trouble. And it's funny because even now when I say it as an adult, it's like, oh no, I said that.
The fear of God, the fear of
Grandma's going to be so disappointed in me.
Well, she's outside the window right there looking at us.
Yeah, I see. And if we said it, you might have to beep that out.
It's kind of, I'll bleep everything out.
Does that hurt? It doesn't hurt us to talk properly, right? Or clean.
Properly. Or
clean without cussing or...
It helps. I do feel more efficient if I could... But I don't know, something about... Say you're in traffic or something like that. That's when they start flowing.
Skylar has that taped about me.
Yes. And I'm yet to post that, the tape the voice recording that shall not be named. But that'll just be a tease years later. We'll come back to that. Well, how did Grandma discipline you guys if you were acting up?
When Grandpa was on the road a lot, truck driving, she'd always say, wait till your dad gets home. And here we'd see his lights driving up and we were little then, so how bad could it have been, really? But we'd see his lights coming, and he finally, I think she had told me years later, he hated it because he'd walk through the door and we'd all be crying because we thought we were going to get in trouble. It finally came, but I don't remember getting in trouble from him.
No beatings, or he's like, just don't do it again. So Grandma, it was more of like fear propaganda. Grandma's filling your head with these thoughts, like you're just going to be
possibly
put into a torture chamber. And
she did have a wooden paddle, which probably is still in her pantry closet.
Keep going, it's going to get a bit.
That she used to threaten with, but I don't know if she ever. It said "heat for the seat" on it.
She just got that at like an arts and craft fair just to scare kids.
And I don't think she ever used it, but we always knew it was in that closet, Like I said, it's probably still in the closet.
I can't imagine. I don't think I've ever seen Grandma angry. Grandma, or I saw Grandma Pat, Dad's mom, for those who don't know. I've only seen her angry like once, and it wasn't at me. It was at the cousins, but I don't know. Both grandmas have been saintly, patient, and...
Oh, the older I get, knowing...
Most good.
Grandma Pat, but Grandma Barb, because she had twice as many kids, I think that there has to be some saintliness in there, because how can you do that and still be... She seems pretty normal to me.
I'd say, she's making breakfast for these heathens she calls a family every Sunday, which is nice.
Yes,
I was going to ask a question, but then, you think of a question and it just kind of... falls out of your head all the time.
I've experienced that.
What's been the most challenging part in raising 3 boys? And I don't know, was there part of you that wanted a girl at some point?
Not really.
You essentially raised Dad too.
Not really. Well, I kind of
signed up. He's a baby. He's listening to this, Benny. Come on now.
That one. No, I just figured eventually if I had boys, at one point I'll have a girl. I'm going to have my girl on September 19th, right?
Well, I was gonna. Damn it! I thought I had it. Oh, Grandpa, how many sisters do you have?
4.
So you have 4 sisters and 1 brother. Do you think Grandpa was just trying hard to get a son, and then finally Uncle John came? He's like, "Oh God!"
He always says no, and I mean, they're Catholics, so
why not have a? Why do Catholics
have kids?
Insist on?
It's just
no birth control. Just pump them out.
I guess we're just supposed to keep feeding into the Catholic
more money for the
family,
the collection.
But maybe so.
Possibly the Crusades.
That's just supposed to be the way.
Well, hey, it works. It's a big family.
Yep.
A lot of family. That was that Mother's Day was awesome. We're eating outside. Mimosas,
I loved it. I look at those pictures that.
I want people to be.
Yeah.
They are jealous.
It's just nice. Yeah. Yeah.
But for boys, that had to have been a pain in the ass. I know I wasn't easy. Keith or Skylar, like the 3 of us. Like, did you ever just want to like escape? It's like, screw you guys. I'm gonna go to Vegas with some of the gals for a week.
No, because that just wasn't something I really did. I mean, I go now more with my girlfriends, but that pretty much I felt like was my job description. Mm-hmm. So here, Dad works 10 hours, and I'm supposed to then gallivant and say, oh, when you come home from work, by the way, take care of these 3 boys.
Well, you're allowed to have a life too,
Well, I am, but I figured I had as much life as he had life.
He told me that he doesn't know how you stuck with him because you go to work and then go coach basketball, leaving you with us all day, all night.
And
wow.
There was times where that was hard, and I used to always tell myself, you know what, in 5 years, they're all going to go to practice with him, and I'll just be at home, just living the high life. Well, you know where I was when I sent all you guys to practice with him?
Where was you?
I went to sit in the gym because I was bored.
What?
And I mean, a lot of my friends had little people, so it wasn't like we were gallivanting all the time. We didn't have a lot of money to, for me to pay to have all this stuff done. It just... You guys were my life. I don't ever regret anything for it. I don't ever feel like I missed out because of it. I mean, like I said, now I go with my girlfriends, but I still have obligations at home, but I just feel like now is kind of my time a little bit more.
Well, at 24, I feel like that's a solid age to be having kids or start having kids. But still, when I was 24, even now at 29, I'm not... Like, I don't know. I'm still figuring myself out. I'm still trying to find my way. I'm trying to, get this life thing figured out. Do you think that, I don't know, even back in, the boomers and all, the generations of having kids at such young ages, do you think it's kind of where we're at in society that people should be having kids later on, or why?
I think that's evolved as more people started going to school. Mm-hmm. When a lot of my friends went on to college, but a lot of my friends, I could have went out and got a job, a very good job doing the secretarial stuff. I did go out and get a job right out of high school, doing dental assisting and stuff. And then I built on that. So it was still wasn't the end of the world if you didn't go to school. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like your generation, it's kind of put out there that you can never make anything of yourself unless you do this or that or get a certain degree or whatever. And I still think that there's so many opportunities all the way around. I think having a degree will give you opportunities, will open some doors that other people can't. But I still think that there's people that are very successful without.
Absolutely.
And so I think people too, that if you're going to spend 4 or 6 years in school aiming for something, you're not going to want to come out and be locked down, have a house, have kids, have all that. And I think that is what has made having kids a little bit later in life more the norm now than it was. But although when I had kids at 24, that was still, some people thought, I was considered a younger mom.
Mm-hmm. How much, what was your salary for being a mom?
Hard to say.
$0 and 0 cents.
Well, yeah, you can't really put a price on it. I think the benefits I think it's a benefit for kids to have their moms stay at home. Although there's some people that say, you know what, I'm not as good a mom because if I had to stay home with them, I would shoot myself. I've heard people say that. And so, you know, there's some days, everybody has days like that. Everybody has days like that at work too. But I never regret being able to go on every field trip with you guys or, I mean, all that.
I know I've been outrageously spoiled, not only having two parents, but involved parents. I can tell you now that it did mean a lot having you guys and the grandparents at games and with me through many stages of life. But one thing I do recall that, you know, it sucked at the time, but I feel like it forged a work ethic is doing chores and doing work around the house or the orchard out here. Do you think that's like crucial that kids should be put to work young, not you know, on an assembly line, but doing chores and getting used to working and not having, like, do you think an allowance is good or is it money earned that's better? Because some kids like, oh, I get $10 a week or whatever
right,
allowances.
But to me, there should be some reason you're getting that $10 a week.
Right.
Yes, because I think it does teach work ethics. I think a lot of kids get their work ethic from just watching their parents, but I think
some kids are just spoiled little though.
They might be, and that doesn't mean that they're going to grow up and be that way. Maybe, you know, some won't, some will, but that could be true for kids that work very hard and get an allowance. I don't know. I
feel like it humbles you. Like you respect.
I just think you need to do that. As an adult, you're not going to have somebody coming up behind you, picking up after you all the time. So why not? You need to learn as a kid, and then just slowly.
I remember making $2.50 an hour out here in the orchard. Then when I turned 10, it was a whopping $5 an hour.
Wow,
I was on top of the world.
You were overpaid.
Tax for overpaid. Hey, at least it wasn't taxed. Do you think so? Talking about having a lot of kids. I mean, your sisters and your brother. That's good. That's good slave labor, I'd say.
Yes.
Do you think having a lot of kids, say there's those moms in the 30s and 40s with like 14, 15 kids, do you think it's detrimental to the kids because the parents don't, there's literally not enough attention to give each kid, and I was happy to get attention when I needed it. Do you think having more kids is, I don't know, detrimental to kids growing up? Like, yeah, I have 10 brothers and sisters, but at the same time, are you getting, you know,
I understand
the love that you need, you know?
I had to share Grandma and Grandpa more than you had to share Dad and I, and I never felt unloved or in the need for something or ignored. Never, ever, ever. So I think that probably just falls on how a parents or something. I mean,
how do you parent? when did you figure out? Like, are you still figuring it out?
You just do the best you can. There's no rules. Yeah.
At some point, you have to just step back and be like, well, the kid's a screw up, or they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. Like, when do you, like, take off the leash, I guess I should say. I'm just like,
I don't know, that's the hard part. I don't know if you ever, I mean, I'm sure right now you feel like I still mother you quite a bit. And that's what's hard to have once you guys are adults to, like, not put in my 2 cents worth. And I still do, so I guess I have not stopped. But it's, that's hard. It's a,
instinct,
not hard. It's just a different transition. And then, well, for me, I kind of feel entitled that I can give you my opinion no matter if you want to hear it or not.
Well, I mean, what am I going to do? Like, off Ma, I don't want to hear it. No, I'm not going to say that. But I don't know. It's like sometimes it's truth that you need to hear or whatever because you have far more life experience. But it's a different sort of life, I'd say, these days. From when you grew up to where you're at now, from where, like, I'm growing up in technology and all that crap or whatever pressures there are. I don't know, but I don't know where we're going to do this podcast yesterday. We were both in funks.
In a little bit of a funk.
I hate that. Like, why? Like, I'm in.
Today's much better.
Even
though it's cloudy and overcast,
it's not as windy.
Much better.
Maybe the wind
I think the wind screws up your electrical system.
Like, I thought it was wired correctly, but no. There's some screws loose for sure. I'm
trying the cloud.
Ben Geerts' son. What are your thoughts on people that don't vaccinate their children? out there question, but I don't know. Snuck it in here.
I just did it because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you can. It has made me think a little bit about it because now when they're talking about that vaccine, that the COVID vaccine, if they come in, are they going to make everybody get it? And I'm like, hell no, I don't want to.
Is it like mandatory?
Well, they're talking about making it mandatory. Well, some of
news.
them. I know every now and then you get whiff of it, and I thought, I don't want to be the guinea pig, and in 10 years they're going to tell us that vaccine caused something crazy, you know? So I don't know. I mean, some of these are so tried and true, and they've completely got rid of things, and it's like, but is the cure worse than the illness? And you just don't know because everybody's so different. I mean, some people have side effects from them, and
it's different. It depends on how, I don't know, how it's the story that the news pushes out. Okay, here's the main subject. Here's the vaccination possibly, and then since that's the fact, the news can shape that any way they want, or it doesn't matter what, depending on your agenda. We're going to scare people this way or that way. What are the effects? And then I guess it depends on how susceptible you are to fear and how much you let your imagination run wild.
And that's where you have to go and find a physician that you trust. Because a lot of times, you'll say, if they were your kid, what would you do? And that's putting a lot of trust in a physician. But that's, if you've gone to them, that's why you have to click with your physician. And I'll tell you, the one time I was questioned about it is when you were in kindergarten here in Winters, they told me you didn't have a vaccine and you couldn't come back to school unless you got it. And I was sure that I had given you all because I just did.
Was it for rabies?
I don't remember what it was for. Mad cow.
Mad.
So I asked the doctor, I said, they told me that you didn't have these things and I didn't want to just give it. And they're going, okay, we'll just bring them in. I said, no, it's not okay. You need to prove to me that you did not, because now here are we going to, what happens if I give it to him again and he's always had, I mean, I had a lot of questions and it really worried me. Yeah, they went and shot you up anyway, but because God knows you had to go to school.
Didn't have a third arm coming out and anything like that. No big deal.
But
speaking of things, well, around the same thing, like, because you get all your vaccinations when you're little, and grandma raised you religiously. I was raised religious. I don't know, baptism when kids are super young. Like I see the religion for us, like Catholicism, it's a nice foundation or basis on how to live your life, be nice, courteous, what have you. Do you think, because I asked myself this, if say you and Pops waited to have me baptized and I went through life and then maybe at age 18 or 20 you make that decision, I don't know, do you think it's good to have kids baptized when they're younger or let them choose for themselves?
Well, that's kind of why you start with baptism, and it's basically the parent's choice. And then all your sacraments, it's still kind of the parent's choice, whether you're going to get your butt in there or not. But then when you receive confirmation, a lot of people wait until high school, which is still your 15, 16. You guys did it in 8th grade just because I wanted to be done with it.
It's just all these levels of being Catholic.
But so you went all the way through. Do I think it hurt you guys? No. But as adults, if you guys not going to go to church or believe what you want to believe, that's your choice as an adult. I don't feel bad if you choose not to. That's your choice as an adult.
Right.
I've done my part you've got educated in it and what it means to believe. Now, as an adult, it's your choice to do what you want with that information.
I did feel snazzy in my Saint. I know I resented it at the time, but the St. James and Davis, that uniform, the combed hair, I felt snazzy.
Wow.
And then
there you go.
Free dress every day at this godless public school of Winters.
You could go in your jammies
my God.
Call it a day.
Outright. Those were the times, man, where it was a delight to dress anyway. Free dress day was just
it's the little things, little things in life, right?
Do you think we should, just random question, do you think the world would be a better place if people wore uniforms more often?
And all drove the same kind of car?
Maybe not the same car. Say Winters had a uniform.
I think it makes it easier for a parent because then you don't have to go, oh, that dress is too short or those pants are too tight or you're not wearing your jammies. It's just like, it's a uniform. Put on the uniform. It makes it easier.
In the morning for sure.
Oh, God.
Like, I just couldn't imagine, say, as a girl, like, how long does it take you to get ready? Say you and Pops are going to go out for a date or something like that. Pre-kids, how long would it take you to get ready?
Well, Aaron, as you know, I'm not a girly girl. It does not take long enough to take a shower and wash my hair and dry it.
You're the manliest man I know.
Well, I'm the manliest woman, and I am not. But it does not take me a lot of primping.
I mean, you might have had a cigarette back in the day.
Oh,
possibly.
shut up. Possibly not.
You smoked it filter first, I heard.
What? Don't bring up
Reverse.
old stuff.
I won't re-spark that.
I
Relight
I get it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Let's see
Full
here.
of smoke.
I'm blowing smoke.
Bone smoke. That was what I was looking for.
Let's see here. I'm trying to read my own handwriting. How? I guess it was a discipline question. She just kind of threatened you with Grandpa. That was Grandma's leverage.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, you figure it's not like they could take away the internet. They couldn't take away a cell phone. All you could do is get grounded. And the theory is, if you ground a kid, you're grounded yourself because you got to sit there with them.
No. What would you guys do for entertainment? Like paint or?
No, that's part of the reason probably we played sports all the time. As little kids, or I'm thinking we would sew. We did 4-H.
Read, perhaps?
Perhaps not.
No.
Gosh, Grandma would just say, just go.
Get the hell out of my house.
When we were little, we used to have a pond in front, and she'd just now I think about this now. She'd just let us go get in the boat and go fishing and stuff, and now I think how hyper I am about you guys when you were, don't go by the creek. And
was it hard not to be like a helicopter parent? Because you're just worried that any little thing is just gonna snatch up your kid? Like, what's that paranoia
you just worried,
like?
Stranger danger, but really
Especially
there's
nowadays.
more dangers. It's less strangers and more relatives. But
it's like Pop's always said, like everything since I've gotten out of St. James, like, would you think you would have chosen that same path for us, like given all these sexy these scandals from the priests?
Well, he's such a hater on the priests, and I just think, you know what? There's pedophiles everywhere.
Absolutely.
And I think it's more prevalent there. We hear about it more because there's more money for people to get. And not that people are lying about it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you're going to hear about what goes on. I mean, if it just happened to Joe Blow on the street and they're not getting any money for nothing, you probably wouldn't hear about it.
Poor Joe Blow.
If I would have done, I would have.
Horrible name.
Still, yeah, it is. Especially with being this topic, but. Yeah, I probably would have still done the same thing. I
trusted the priest. I tell the story when I was being reconciliation. When you're confessing, is that reconciliation?
Yeah, that's 4th grade.
4th grade. I remember confessing, super nervous, like toe to toe in this little room with the priest,
it's uncomfortable.
And I said, I was like, I'd cheat at Mario or Monopoly, speeding up Skylar or whatever. Skylar's calling. Answer it. Tell him that you're on the podcast. You're on the podcast, Diggler, you piece of crap.
Skylar, I'm on the podcast, Diggler. Oh, you're on the podcast? Yeah, what's up?
You're live.
Wow.
Okay, I'll call you. I'll call you when I'm done. Okay, bye, hon.
Rude boy.
It's about work.
Work, schmirk. The story. I get done. Oh, speak of the devil, right? Beating up Skylar. Anyways, he goes to raise his hand and clearly to place it on my head to bless me or whatever. Yeah. I'm thinking he's going for a high five. Like, hey, you confess. So I held up my hand and kind of stopped him halfway. And then I realized, he's not going for a high five. He's just hovering his big Irish hand over me, and then he just plops it on my forehead, and I just feel like such an asshole.
Oh, let it go. I think it's time to let it go.
But there's so many, I don't know, memories when you're little that they still kind of haunt you. Just outrageous, ridiculous things to happen when you're little. For some reason, they haunt me.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too old. I just don't remember a lot of them.
God, this is one off the... no, it's not. Which, say, animal mother do you think works the hardest? a possum perhaps, because they got to walk around with all those babies on their back. They're spiders with hundreds of babies on their back. There's a kangaroo. You got, literally have a pouch jumping around. It's like, yeah, you're done being pregnant, but now you got to do it again.
Yes, but if you, in the animal kingdom, all their babies leave within like a year or so. Ours, 18 years, God, like plus some. Baby
giraffes can get out. Good Lord. I'm back living with you. Oh, my God. Like some like baby giraffes get out, they get spit out, and then they got to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it'd be different if, like, what age do you think kids should be kicked out or forced to be independent?
Well, I've always heard that the male brain does not mature until 25.
Are you sure? I'm going on 30 and I'm still working on it.
Maybe we've kicked out them, you guys too young. I don't know. So, I don't know. Every kid's different.
There's something about, I don't know, it was tough in college. I'd say I recall, like, you and Dad leaving me all alone at Sonoma. I'm like, oh, shit, what am I doing now? I don't know, when, like, getting used to being out, being independent, like, I think there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of value having your parents around, but it's like proving to yourself, I can go out and drink every night. I can do my laundry.
But you have to make the decisions what are the wise ones and not. I think it's equally as hard when people need a little break and say you move back. It's probably equally as hard for you to move back with us because you've had your, I'm sure that is.
I had over a decade of independence now.
Yeah. So.
No, that was my, Jesus Christ. The paper. I told Nico that his article's out.
Oh.
On esports. Check out the Winners Express, whoever's listening.
Oh, cool.
Nico Doyle, a.k.a. it's Nick Flicks.
What's he doing now? Oh, for his gaming.
Yeah, it's gaming.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if he's a gamer or a photographer or
he wears many hats. He
does.
Ambitions.
He's very talented.
I love, I'm glad Nico texted because I remember getting a little fatter over time because of video games, because of Nintendo 64. How do you feel about, I feel like your generation was raised to believe that video games rot your mind, which they can very well do if you overdo it. But nowadays, you can make a career out of it. It's few and far between to be like uber successful playing video games, but I mean, how do you see them nowadays? Like what they've evolved
I do see them more as a social outlet for people, which I never saw the social part. But when you guys started, it wasn't a social part. It was a game part because you weren't all connected. Now it's different.
There's multiplayer, like James Bond.
Well, you played against the game, but you weren't playing and visiting with your friends at the same time like you are now.
Well, not online, but you get 4 of your buddies, and you plug it in. The screen splits up into 4, and you can but you have to be next to each other. You're not playing online though.
Right. It's just different now, and I still think that people are too sedentary. I mean, yeah, even if it's your career, if you're going to school, you should still get your butt out and work out.
I think you and Pop saved me a nice case of, I want to say I would have had diabetes, but I would have been a little chubbier if you guys did not mandate. Those scare the shit.
That
so
was
just
a big
having
pine cone.
The pine cone drops from the goddamn tree ahead of us, slams into the lunchbox, and like I've pooped myself a few times. Video game, like as fun as they were, because when I was growing up, they really amped up the graphics, they amped up the fun, all that stuff. But I was for sure getting chubbier, as you could see in my swim team pictures.
Well, that was
chubbier.
Just that's what happens to boys, and then all of a sudden 8th grade comes and zip,
woo,
you grow taller and turn into a skinny young man.
Oh well. Apart from video games, I grew up in the Attitude Era of WWE wrestling. There's Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Works, some of the best of wrestling we've ever seen. And yet you said nay. You said no moss. What was wrestling doing to poison up? You said no moss when D-Generation X was out, when all they're too nasty, this Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I remember, so dad loaned a boy money that worked for him. And so he paid us back so graciously with wrestling tickets.
I recall that was.
And you guys were young. I don't even know if we had a Skylar yet, but here we are sitting close. And they come out screaming, throwing chairs, flipping people off. And I thought, this is not happening. And I can't remember.
It's the attitude era,
thinking it was you that was possibly scared you were going to get hit by some flying object. Or maybe that was Skylar. I don't remember.
I think Skylar was there because I remember going to Arco to watch that. We had all those Sting masks.
Yeah, I just thought I just never need to see this again in my life.
But you told us we couldn't watch it. That was...
Well,
man, we missed
did
out
it
on
scar
so
you?
much.
Did you? You can catch up and watch reruns now. We're stuck at home all this time.
I guess I can. I remember getting back into wrestling in high school, and I was like, "Oh, wrestling! Mom's not around. I'm gonna turn it on." and it was John Cena in there. Like the naughtiness, I guess, of wrestling has totally gone down. The key demographic for them, it's little kids.
They still have the divas in there.
The divas. Well, let's get the little kids to get this overly sexualized content, like. Stuffed. I mean, maybe that's for the little girls to show that they're prissy and
toughies.
powerful.
Yeah,
little toughies. But I don't know. Maybe I could have used a little more wrestling in my life when I was little, but or not. Who knows? Maybe I would have turned out different if shaved my head drinking beers when I was 13 with Stone Cold or apple juice. What is the line between discipline and abuse? Wow. Would you say? Because people are very sensitive these days. You remember Adrian Peterson, the old running back for the Vikings? He got suspended. His career changed forever when pictures came out of his son with like welts on his ass because he took a switch to him. I mean, I didn't see him beat him. The marks did look kind of bad, but at the same time, do you think people are overly sensitive to parents disciplining their kid with like spankings or?
Oh, I think a lot of people don't like spankings. To leave marks, that
slippery slope, Ma. There's so many people listening to this. If you say something wrong, you're getting sued.
I know, but I don't think any of you have any lasting scars, so I must not.
Not
have
on
been
the
that
outside.
bad.
I can't remember ever getting. I remember Pops would pull the back of my hair.
I would pull your sideburns.
The sideburn. Yeah, that was not only it hurt on the outside, but it definitely hurt on the inside as well because. Like in front of like other people, I'm like, oh my god, I look like such a silly little boy getting his hair pulled by his mother.
Yeah, I don't know, and
feel very small.
I don't know.
A little humiliation there.
Welts is a lot, but
I mean, I don't know how I do. I feel like there needs to be more discipline these days because I don't know. There's so many kids that are just little bastards. There's so many adults rather that are entitled to the world. Or they think they are. Entitled to everything, and they don't. I've seen it. I've seen many of them.
I don't know. You'll just do the best you can when the time comes.
Oh, let's hope so.
Yeah.
If the time comes, and the world doesn't completely explode around us.
Yes.
We have reached the point, Mother, of the podcast. It's called Off the Cuff.
Okay.
And it's 10 random, just from the hip questions that are just even sillier than the questions I've originally asked. Oh, are you ready?
It's not a speed thing, right?
No, it's not a speed thing.
Good,
oftentimes these will go on a lot longer and completely change the podcast.
Shoot.
All right. If you could pick an exotic animal for a pet, what would it be?
A skunk.
A skunk?
Is that exotic? I don't think that's exotic. It's cute. They're very cute.
It's exotic enough.
It's cute.
What about like a tiger or something with all this Tiger King madness?
I haven't. I've tried not to watch the Tiger King.
Me neither.
He's just funky looking. Too much weirdness there. No, I'm going to stick with my skunk. I just think it's cute. It's little.
Do you keep the stink within it, or do you surgically remove it?
Oh, no, you take the stink out.
But are you not taking the identity of the skunk away from him? He is known to be the stinker, and you're taking the stink out of the stinker?
Nobody knows that except for me. I mean, if somebody came to the door... you'd train him to stick his tail up.
Well, it could be a defensive. Like, think of say somebody is breaking into the house, and you train your skunk to just go for the eyes, concentrate it, train him, train that stink.
That's what they do anyway.
Well, they'll spray everybody. Well, I mean,
they aim for the eyes, like for dogs and stuff.
Yeah. What would you name him or her?
Stinky. What else?
Stinky. Oh, the Stinky. They're cute when you see, like, and
they are cute.
The little ones, too, just miniature. Just little any animal.
That's true.
I don't know. Possums. I got love for possums. Some think they're ugly as sin, but I think they're adorable. Our responsibilities calling.
No.
We're on the home stretch, Ma. Don't worry. A skunk. Excellent answer. Very exotic.
Okay.
Very North American. Would you rather have a root canal or your big toe smashed?
Root canal.
Really?
I've had a root canal and I've had my toe smashed. Root canal's better.
Better? That was
Yeah.
the worst pain I ever had in my life, having Dr. Reasoner just...
Well, I went
Take
to
it
a
in deep.
specialist and he was very good. Yeah,
I
don't
just
know.
figured toe smash without the toenail falling off. It's just a good old smash, so you drop something on it.
Oh.
Classic.
No, then
That's
it
a little-
throbs and you got to stick a needle in it and let the blood spurt out. No, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Well, let me put it that way. I've never, knock on wood, never had to have needled myself in any way.
It's
to
torture.
I don't want to do it. When did you do that?
I smashed my finger one time when you guys were little, and I knew that if Dad came home from work, he'd insist on doing that, so I did it myself.
Did you say the F word?
I don't remember. I just know I had to do it myself, so he would not do it.
And
I did it.
you did it, you just heat up the needle and then...
You keep poking it in until it
Well,
lets the pressure out, and
Is it like, did it squirt out the top?
it does when you go in deep enough, yeah.
So it's like you're just gnawing at the top of your fingernail.
So you
trying
stick
to,
it in, and then you just put it on there, and it's like, oh, it didn't go through. So then you have to do it again. Because my thought is, can you picture a flaming hot thing going into your skin?
I'd rather not.
I know, that just made my stomach turn. So you just do a little at a time, and then finally when you go through and it releases, it's just like, oh, finally.
Is it worth the pain, the relief?
If it's really built up in there, it is. You've never smashed a finger?
Well, yeah, but my body doesn't hate me and doesn't swell up. It says, Aaron, we're going to cut you some shellac.
Oh,
We're not going to.
Lucky you.
I'm totally going to. I just jinxed the out of myself.
I know it. I hope you don't have to.
Gods be good. Gods be good. What is the best cereal?
Oh, Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's enough sugar in it. Over Fruity Loops, over Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, that's all just.
Over chocolate, Cocoa
Yes,
Puffs.
I love Raisin Bran with the raisins that do not have sugar on them.
What? Chex Mix? What about Chex Mix? What about
No.
Lucky Charms?
No,
Frosted
they're too.
Flakes.
Those are just chemicals and
Of
sugar.
course, that's what cereal is.
I know, and I don't like it.
Raisin Bran is
Raisin Bran
from
is
the
my.
vine.
I love Raisin Bran
Raisin Bran Crunch.
I have
I'll
never
settle
had
for
it.
that. It is delicious.
because it probably has a lot of sugar on it.
Well, I mean, that's
Like,
food
you
these
know,
days.
I know.
It's Raisin Bran. What kind of milk are you putting in there?
Whatever's in the
2%
fridge.
Fat-free, vitamin D.
It doesn't matter. I really, honestly, never have it anymore.
Yeah. Mustaches or beards?
Neither.
Neither. I can't grow. That's probably why I can't grow either. Applebees or Apple C's? Nonsensical question. Needs a
I know.
Nonsensical answer.
Obviously, Applebee's.
What was your favorite thing to get at Applebee's?
Ooh, the Oriental chicken salad.
Oriental. Why does it have to be Oriental? It's 2020.
Because
You
it's
being
crunchy. No, and they put all this sugary vinaigrette on it. It's delicious.
Racist. Oh, they didn't smother it in
Yes, they're closed now.
and Raisin Bran.
No.
I was thinking about that Applebee's today because I was doing a bunch of bee puns. There's a bee on Skylar's truck when I was working out at the birdcage. And I kept doing puns on Instagram. So hopefully Don Deb Fit will like those. And I was like, oh, God damn it. That Applebee's right next to In-N-Out Burger in Vacaville is gone. That hurt.
The one in Davis. There's one in Woodland.
There's one in Woodland?
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll go.
Some of them stick around. Good Lord. That was a place to go
They have
for
some good
birthdays.
stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely. Do you like swimming more than running?
Yes.
Yep. Silly question. Silly question.
Yes.
Would you rather skydive or play chicken in a car? You know, chicken where you're driving head to head.
I know I'm looking at any. Yeah. Chicken.
You'd rather play chicken?
Actually, I have played chicken.
You have.
With the one and only
Lauren Brickey.
Matt Brickey.
And did you guys predetermine who was going to turn which way, or was it like?
Well, kind of a funny
You
story.
and your VW bugger going down.
We used to just always stay on the other side. We'd pass and go back onto the right side. Well, funny story is one time Grandma was driving my car, and Matt came at her, and when he finally realized it was her, he got over in time. But she was like, because she wasn't moving over, but can you imagine?
She might have said
We
it
were in high
backwards
school.
then. No.
We were in high
that
school.
just, there's no laws, no rules in high
Yeah.
school.
So that's funny
Some
to think back
legit-
at.
God. You and your VW bug. Mm-hmm. Just puttering along. And, man, that... Sounds dangerous. Or fun, depending on who you
Exactly.
are, I guess.
Fun shenanigans.
A madman... Oh, I'm very happy I thought of this question. All right, so here's the situation. A madman comes in and holds a gun to you, and then holds a gun at Chip and Joanna Gaines and says, Debbie, one of them has to die. Who's it going to be? Who do you kill?
Well, I'd like to say I'd kill the madman, but
No, you got to make a choice.
you're right. That makes no sense.
What?
There's no choosing. It's like
You
there's
gotta,
not
you gotta
a...
choose. It's Sophie's
Oh, Joanna, so she can raise those kids
You
and be a
kill
mom.
Joanna?
No, I'd keep Joanna because she's
choice.
got to be the mom.
You kill Chip.
Yeah, kill off Chip.
Do you shoot him in the knees first, or just right between the eyes? Because I
Just
heard you're a
beat.
pretty good shot.
Some days.
Some days, on that day you are.
Well, I'm not killing him. The madman's killing him.
All right, he gives you the gun. Says,
Then I would kill the madman.
He says this gun only works on Chip or Joanna because the madman is God.
Oh.
And says Deborah,
Again, it would probably be
Chip.
but
Bam.
I don't want to have to go to confession about that. You know?
No, well, I mean, no, it's a get out of jail free card because it's God.
Oh.
Debbie, it's cool. It's totally cool.
Okay.
Get Chip if he's gone, he can start building up in heaven. Whatever. I'm glad. Good choice. That would have been my choice. Plus, who knows? Do you think Joanna would give you discounts on her products and whatnot, or she'd hate you forever for choosing to kill her husband?
No, but I'm gonna go there one day and just check it out. It just
What's
looks like
that?
To Wacko. It just
Waco?
looks like
Oh!
a cool place.
That's where they're
The
from.
silos.
Wacko
Yeah.
or Waco?
Waco.
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 Would you, if given the chance, would you kick OJ in the footballs?
Well, he's just so icky.
I
He's so
know.
guilty.
He's so guilty. And do you take that chance? Oh, hey, Debbie.
So he can cut off my head?
No. The madman is still next to you. Says, here's your chance.
I guess if he had done that to my daughter or son, what he did, you would, but...
He did it to somebody else's, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you? Right? Just, bam, free shot.
I don't know.
Doesn't even see it coming.
It just seems like... I'm thinking too literally about it. Yeah, you'd want to because he's icky.
Because he's icky. What if somehow they proved his innocence?
They won't.
It's
There's
so
no way possible.
ridiculous. There's no way.
It's so ridiculous. I just picture him going down the freeway 50 miles an hour in the Bronco.
So, Donnie Garcia's dad had the funniest quote. You know who Tim Tebow is, right? Mm-hmm. So, he said, oh, yeah, Tim Tebow's the most famous white Bronco since OJ's getaway car. Donnie Garcia said that.
That is a good one.
That
is a good one.
All right. Last question. Are you ready for it?
Shoot.
A little bit of a toughie. What is the better invention, toilet paper or the Disneyland Fast Pass?
Well, it has to be toilet paper because it's a necessity.
Is it?
They're changing Disneyland. Well, and it ticks you off because they're changing Disneyland Fast Pass.
Oh,
now,
wait, what?
you go to Disneyland, if I understand this correctly, and they want you to buy an app so you can do the Fast Pass on your app because, they need even more money.
Does the app cost money?
I think so.
I just
Or
asked
you
if
can-
Disneyland charges you.
I know. Yes, the app I'm pretty sure costs money, or you can walk a million extra steps and physically take the Fast Pass. So that's why you got to be in good shape to go to Disneyland.
Absolutely. Well, it gets you there. Or gets you around. You get the most out of it.
Yeah.
One more question just came to mind.
Okay.
What's been, I guess, the best part about being a mom and its entirety, and I don't know, any advice you can give to other moms that might be listening? Excuse me.
No, I mean, just at every age, there's something to enjoy about your kids. And just to have family I think is a blessing, even in good times and bad times. I just still think it's a blessing to have family around. And you just have to enjoy those times when you get a chance.
Absolutely. It's being present. Being
That. Being present.
One last question came to mind.
I thought I just heard that.
I know. Second, all right, this is
okay,
the last question.
last question.
Out of Keith, Skylar, and I,
You're my favorite 29-year-old.
Who dutied the most when we were little? Who was
Oh,
the biggest
Jesus
pain in the ass? Who was the
Christ.
biggest little Certainly wasn't me.
No, I mean, you guys all had different personalities, and it wasn't...
And you're a baby?
Oh, you guys were all good babies. I had
But
really
there's
good
probably
babies.
Skylar pooped his pants. I remember checking, like, God damn, this guy pooped his pants again. When is he
Well,
going to learn, this guy?
No,
This guy.
it's all just, and sometimes when you're really little and you're really busy, it's all just a blur too. And
That's where drinking comes in.
I didn't take tallies at that point on who pooped the most.
I think when my son or daughter has their podcast, I got to take tallies. So when they ask this ridiculous question, I will have my answers.
Okay.
Yes. Well, Mother, thank you for coming on. This was a solid 50-minute podcast. It doesn't really
This
seem
was
like
fun,
it, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it.
And then for Father's Day, we bring in Big Ben in, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have more of the Geertses in here
Yeah.
doing this. And it's been a while since I've actually had a face-to-face guest. Been doing it over Zoom, over the internet.
Oh, really? And we're not even 6 feet apart, so are we gonna get
I'd
arrested?
say it's 3 feet at the table.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
oh well, we're still alive. I'm thinking we'll survive.
So.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mommy.
love.
I love you.
That was fun. I love you too.
All right. Bye, everybody.
You lose. Good day, sir.